your tripod. Now again, you guys the night before will have gone through so that all you had to do was that and it's set up. So you have already have set the height. Remember height. This is super important for a simple reason. You are not allowed to move this throughout the entire cosmetology portion of the test. So you will be doing your women's cut, rolling your perm, your thermal curl, all of that at the same height. You're not allowed to move it. So I have found for myself that going like slightly lower than heart is most comfortable. That is something that you are going to want to be aware of as you're practicing, so you know exactly where you want to set it up, okay? Once I have my tripod set up, I'm going to separate out my bins. Now, these bins are actually super simple to separate if done correctly, okay? Cute little Kendall like grabbed the bins and was like trying to pull them apart, and the weight of them made the whole thing rip. So you guys can see this one broke. If this broken bin is on the bottom, they slide apart like super easy. It's not even a problem. So I'm gonna just act like that's not broke. You do have to unclasp both of these, and then you have to grab, if you can see where my hands are going, I'm just going in between here, okay? I'm just holding that. But where this one's broke, I have to adjust because cute little Kendall. So you'll just hold it like this and it will slide off because I'll have the broken one as the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is this when we should start recording you?
Yes.
Oh.
I already started. I got it.
You will notice that I put the items to the disinfected lid is on the empty bin. There's nothing inside of there. When I leave, this one's going to be full. Your items to be disinfected bin. Do not mix up the lids. That's like super important. You could fail just if you mix up your lids. You're gonna just set that off to the side, okay? Tripod is then going to go so it is touching the bottom corner of your table. Yes, it has to be touching, okay? Then I'm going to get into my disinfected supplies, and then I'm only going to grab out these pre-ripped paper towels that will be in here. The only thing I'll grab is my disinfectant and my hand sanitizer. That's all I'm gonna grab.
Do you not want the lid to touch the floor of your disinfected items? You don't want to like set it on the floor to get stuff out and then put it back on?
Right, yeah, so I'm not gonna be setting anything here.
Okay.
I won't be setting anything like on my foot. I have to shove all this down because it's not fitting. But you just want to keep it off of the floor because that's not sanitary, right?
Okay. Yep.
And mine won't shut. That's what happens when you don't clean it out. It's not shut, I know. But I haven't cleaned it out and organized it, so it's a disaster in there. So I want you to pretend that that is
Closed.
closed. You will have this already set to spray from the night before, and the night before you have already have opened this. Because if not, look at how awkward you look. Spray this down. Continue holding it until you've wiped it. Once your table is all the way disinfected, you are fine to set this down. Disinfectant, hand sanitizer, this paper towel just put in the corner, okay? Just like that. You will sanitize your hands. This is what you need to make sure of, is you have to do it with 2 hands, and you cannot have your palm touch the little nozzle. So that is how you're gonna sanitize your hands each and every time. Do not just go like this and pump. They will dock you down for your sanitation points.
Okay.
Okay, that is the first step. Do it just like that. Your next step, pull out your disinfectant supplies again and remove your trashes. Now what do we slide that back under. You will go to the front of your room.
The room or a table?
The table.
Okay.
And you'll just open up your trashes. They're just pop-ups, so you just have to unlock them. You'll either have like a little, this one's, I don't know what you would call that, just like a little clasp or else it's Velcro.
And it's not a big deal if you put them on the ground while you're setting them up?
Nope. You will have opened these up the night before so that you're not wasting the time trying to spread them and open them. Some things people do with trashes. For me, I like to just like twist this and I'm good to go, like ready to go. Some people are worried about them falling, so what they like to do is actually put clips right here, and you could do that too. It's whatever you're most comfortable with.
Okay.
Like any type of clip or like those butterfly clips?
Really, it doesn't matter what type of clip. And is this time you're setting up included in time? Yep, timer's already
Because you've got
started.
15 minutes for this.
Now, as far as, yes, they are labeled in English, yes, but I can turn this now so that it's facing me so I can read them. I'm gonna leave them facing you guys just so you can see where I discard items. Okay, so I got my trash, I got my soiled linens. They will tell you specifically where they want those set up. Like if they don't like where you put them, they will have you move them. So don't worry about like, oh, am I putting them in the wrong spot? If you do, they will tell you.
Can you not tie it, or is there a reason why you're rolling it, not actually?
You can tie it, you
Okay.
can roll it, you can clip it, you can
Cool.
zip tie it, whatever you want to do. That's what I prefer. So if you prefer to tie it, do it.
Okay.
And
Totally
is
fine.
your second bin your recycled, your right bin over here, that's recycled items?
That's items to be disinfected,
Okay.
correct. Then you take my trash, put it in my trash, and then I'm gonna sanitize and continue on. Those 2 steps right there have to be done in that order, and that text you received yesterday, it explains that. At this point, I can just get out the rest of my stuff in any order. I'm gonna choose to just get out the rest of my general supplies. That way I can get my SMA. So I will get my paper towels, I'm going to have a first aid kit, and then I'm going to have a water bottle. So you will notice I do shut this every time I get in it and slide it back underneath. You guys will actually slide it underneath your table. I don't leave it open and like work back and forth. I wish you could, but do not do that. Then I just set up the rest of my general supplies in whatever order you want. Doesn't matter. I have my first aid kit. I'll sit there the whole time, and you'll have a whole roll, brand new, fresh of paper towels. And then you'll set out your SMA. I'm gonna do like 3, so it just covers all of this. So that would be my SMA ready to go. I'm gonna get back in my bin, so I have to sanitize my hands. If I just went straight into my bin, I would get docked a sanitation point. So just in your mind, remember, anytime I get in this bin, sanitize first.
And then
And
sanitize
again-
after?
You don't have to do it after.
Okay.
2 hands, make sure your palm doesn't touch, all the way up to your elbows every time. Pull this back out, take your lid off and just kind of set it off to the side. And then you will get out your guess number 1. And if you can hold it in your hand, go ahead and get out your doll head as well. That's kind of why I actually leave it in the bag, is just for you guys to hold it easier.
So you're not like holding her by her hair,
Right.
like hanging her upside down.
Lid back on, slide it back underneath the table. One thing that's nice is now you can set all of your stuff down. Before, they wouldn't let you do that. So I'm going to get my doll head open. Put that in the trash. You will notice I put something in the trash, but I'm not gonna sanitize. I am okay to do that because I didn't touch the liner. If my hand, when I went to throw this away, like touches like this, I have to sanitize at that point, okay? So during my setup, as I get her draped, I'm gonna double check because I can already tell she's too high. During my setup, that's when I can adjust it and get it the right height that I want. But after my first setup, don't touch it, okay? So you're gonna take my guess number 1, items to be disinfected bin, not bin, baggie. Inside of here, I have my setup, my thermal curl, and my women's cut. And then it will be stocked with everything that I need. So I can just take my guess number 1 and I can set it here. In the instructions though, it asked me to get my doll head prepared for the guest and to set up thermal curl and women's haircut. So I basically am going to take everything out of these bags and put it on my SMA. So guess number 1, open up my big bag. I'm going to grab out my setup first.
Is this gonna be on the digital bin?
This never leaves. So in the setup, I have this little mini bag. I will have a drape. You're going to have a clip. You will have a neck strip that's already in there. And then you will have a cotton towel. You'll take this bag, you slide it underneath your big bag, and I'm going to get them draped. Your clip is for you to just pull this up and out of the way. If you touch the hair, you have to sanitize after. So I have to sanitize right there. continue on. Now, in your guys' packet, it is going to tell you to use a neck strip or a cotton towel than your drape. We have found that it stays better if you use both. If you tend to use one or the other, it tends to slide off. The towel tends to slide because this is slick, or this by itself, the same thing. But for some reason, a combination of both makes it stay. So I'm gonna have you do both. However you guys prep your guests, like out on the clinic floor, when you do a neck strip is exactly what you should be doing here on the doll head. I just tie like a tiny little knot in the back, so that's what I do there. I open this up. You can either do it like in your facial folds, like doing the V fold like this, or you can leave it folded like this, whatever you prefer, but you're gonna take it and wrap it around on top of that neck strip. If this touches the skin, that's not a big deal. And what I want you guys to be aware of is during your setup, spend the time right here to make sure your drape is secure. Because if throughout your test, this moves, sucks. Like it messes with your confidence, messes with your like rhythm. So make sure during setup right here, right now, that you get this nice and secure.
So Leash, every time you touch her, not just her hair, but like her neck doing that, do you have to sanitize? Just her hair?
Right.
Okay.
Then I could take my cape and put this on. Now that I'm to my cape, I need to make sure the cape does not touch the guest's skin. Now, I'm going to adjust this. That's gonna be too high as I do like thermal curl and haircut, but I don't wanna go too low because I'm still doing a perm. So I'm gonna say right there. And then she will be looking, depending on where you're sitting, they will have every doll head be looking towards the center of the room. So depending on where you're sitting, that's where you need to be at, as far as the way you're having your doll head face. So she's draped, I'm good to go. I'm gonna continue on. I'm gonna sanitize my hands because I finished that procedure, and I'm gonna enter my disinfectant supplies. Again, it's that guest number 1. And I'm just gonna continue setting up everything else. Now, like I said, this is Megan's kit, so there's a few things missing. In your thermal curl bag, you guys will have 3 clips, 2 tail combs, and a regular cutting comb. And then you will also have a neck strip that you will use for testing the temperature of the iron. Then that bag goes underneath your big bag. For your women's haircut, you're going to have a cotton towel. That cotton towel is going to be used just to maintain the SMA because they will be checking for that. It's also used to maintain a clean face and drape. You will have 3 to 4 actual cutting combs, and then you will have a total of 8 clips. Once I have unloaded these and I'm ready to go, then I will take all of these bags and I can just slide them in here. Who would think that would be awkward to do? Okay, and you'll put it in your items to be disinfected and you will sanitize. And then I am ready to go. So I will step back to indicate I'm finished. If time has not elapsed, then I will stand here until everyone's done or until the time has elapsed. If all candidates have finished, then they will continue on with the test. So as far as your speed, it just really depends on what you are like as a group. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Any questions you guys can think of so far?
With the cape, can you do it as tight as possible to make sure that it doesn't fall off, or will they?
Tight as
Normally you don't do
possible.
it really tight on it.
Tight as possible. You do not want that sucker to fall.
Is there any way you can over sanitize? Can you sanitize whenever you feel the need, just
Yes.
better safe than sorry? Okay.
The ones that are specific is before you enter your clean bin, have to sanitize. If you get in your items to be disinfected, you have to sanitize after getting in that. If your hand ever touches one of the liners, you have to sanitize. Anytime you touch their hair, you need to sanitize after. Now, like when I start doing a thermal curl and I'm working on my guest, I'm gonna be touching their hair and then like grabbing my curling iron. I can't stop and sanitize literally every time I touch them. But why I sanitize after I put the clip on is because I'm working with a clean drape, so I wanna make sure my hands are clean when I'm working with a clean drape. And because that's what they tell us. So see how I'm reaching my forehead? So we make sure I sanitize after. Your setup sets the tone for the rest of your test. It's crucial you get your first setup done perfectly because this is what stays out the whole entire time. So like if you get halfway through your test and you're like, oh, I need my water bottle. No, oh, I don't have it. You know, you just want to make sure that this part of your test, there's not really any hiccups. Okay, so let me finish getting like the right amount of clips and stuff out for what she didn't have.
So Leash, we're using our own personal combs and clips, right?
No.
Okay, good.
No, the only thing so far that you will have supplied yourself is your tripod, and then you will also have supplied a thermal curling iron, which.
And your shears and clippers.
And when you said it's a cold, you're doing a cold curl or whatever, does that mean you're just waiting to plug it in, or what does that mean?
You will not plug it in at all. You will be doing a cold iron.
Oh, okay. So you're just
You're mocking
showing
it.
them. That
Yeah.
you
So do you
wanna
curl it
Okay.
before, like the night before?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you your tip. And they actually teach us that. So when we went to training, there is like little tips and tricks that they're like, please have your students do this to make their test so much easier when they're here. Like we don't want them to be so stressed that they just fail because of the stress level. Like teach them these tricks so that they are more prepared. So that's what I'm gonna, plus it does make it so much easier because you're gonna see me struggle. It's not easy on a brand new job.
Do we need to use a clamp iron or can we use a wand?
You have to use a clamp iron, but it does not have to be a Marcel iron. It can just be like a true clamp iron.
So it can have like spring loaded so that you're not like,
You can do
fighting
like
it.
a Revlon or a Conair, any of that. Totally
okay,
fine.
cool.
It just can't be like the big barrel one. So something like this is perfect.
But if your curling iron looks pretty raggedy, you probably won't want to use it, right, for sanitation reasons?
Correct. You want it to look nice and clean. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I want to tell you for setup. Oh yeah, and then for your women's haircut, you would have your feather razor and your scissors here. Which I'm gonna go get out of the cord kit. Do you guys think of any other questions?
Mm-mm.
I think setup is the hard